Hello and welcome back. This is still Hello Nigeria, and of course, Wednesday is Woman Wednesday. We have a phenomenal woman with us again in the studio, and I cannot wait to speak to her because she does something that is so close to my heart. If you know me, you know I love food, food. So she's someone I'm really excited about interviewing. You know, we are all really excited about interviewing. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we have the honor of chatting with a guest who has an interesting background. Now, I wouldn't say her name yet. I would first of all read her fantastic, resume. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Nylah Catering, a catering business specializing in fusion catering. She's a graduate of the world-leading culinary school, Le Cordon Bleu. I think this is the London... Le Cordon Bleu.
Yeah.
All right, Le Cordon Bleu. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough. It's time for us to welcome our guest, Orighoye Dore. You're very welcome, Orighoye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we even go into what you're doing currently,
Yeah.
I think it would be nice because you have a very interesting background.
I do.
What was your job role before you became a chef?
Before you dabbled into...
Dabbled? You called it
diversified
diversified
This is
economy
owning
into-
that space.
For 8 years, I was with the United States Air Force as a nuclear weapons security specialist.
Whoa!
I'm so impressed.
Nuclear weapons.
Yes.
So what did your job entail?
The official description is protection of DoD assets designated vital to national security. That's about...
So you had vital information, and you were probably, can you share some of the vital things?
not.
Let me ask you a very vital
Classified
question.
information.
Did Hillary Clinton really have some
I have
sensitive
nothing to
information
say.
in those emails?
So how was your experience in the Air Force, and why did you decide to... I mean, they're almost two extremes, from Air Force to cooking.
Well, one was born out of necessity, let's just put it that way. Well, it was not the military, obviously. Why did I transition? I think it was something I fell in love with while I was in the military, actually. It was one of those things where I had just moved from Nigeria to the States, and it was very different. I mean, let me try something out of the norm. And then college was another thing. I found myself not being able to discipline myself enough to go to class. And, as a Niger kid, that's why you were sent there. You better respect yourself and go to school. So I wanted both. I wanted that experience, but I also wanted school. So I had to weigh my options, and then I did that. But my first base, it was in Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming, because there are very few nuclear facilities that you can go when you have that specialty. And that was one of it. So when I got there, and then you only have the chow hall, and all you have is mashed potatoes with meatloaf, and you're looking like, what's going on here?
So it's food.
It's far from pounded yam. So it became a necessity. But at that point, I realized that I enjoyed playing with food. I enjoyed the flavors. So I started to create my own unique jollof rice and things like that I could eat.
Nigerian jollof. Did you introduce it to them?
Yes, I did, but I was doing mine a little different. I still try to do that from time to time because I make mine in the oven.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've actually eaten oven-cooked jollof rice.
So it's the only way I would actually eat American rice. I wouldn't eat boiled white rice, and so...
Okay, before we talk of, you've told us how you transitioned. Let's talk about how you got into the military. What formed the basis of you getting in there? Was it...
I can't say that. My mom will be ashamed of me. No, I'm joking. Okay, funny story. We were in primary school, and my parents decided to renew our passports, my sisters and I, because we're born in the States. So we got to the American embassy, and then I'm staring at this guy in a Marine uniform, and I'm like, hi. I mean, he's not saying anything. I'm there like, this uniform just makes the packaging, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And all I could tell myself was, all I could tell myself was, I just want to be in that uniform. I just want that experience. And it was something I had. We went to Air Force Primary School. So it was one of those things where I was like, if I was going to do anything, I'm just going to stick with the color. So still go blue. Exactly. So that's what I did.
And your parents were in support?
My mom wasn't thrilled, obviously. I called her and she says, no. So I did this thing where I had the recruiter come in because my dad was in town. So I had the recruiter come in and explain to him I would still go to school. I would still get to do everything else. And then, so my dad was like, okay, let's give it a shot. If this is what you want to do, because my dad is always encouraging. He's like, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. So I did.
This is so fascinating because we talk about branding and packaging and it says just wash, but to see that a young girl's dream was to be a Marine because she saw how dignified the profession looked. And it begs the question for a lot of our young people who are looking at policemen, army officers, would they see them and want to be policemen? Would they see them? Have you ever seen a policeman and thought to
Most
yourself,
of them
I want
join
to
the
be...
forces these days as a last resort because
Yes.
there are no jobs
Very
out
true.
there. And it shouldn't be
It should be a thing of pride,
Yes,
actually.
that's
It
what I was
should
trying to
be-
get to, that unfortunately, we have lost the pride in our uniform.
Yes.
Men in uniform are the fantasies of many women and some men. But unfortunately for us, we've lost that, and we're hoping that we can bring that back, bring back the national pride, where you wear your uniform with pride and people see it and they want to respect you, they want to be like you or dream to be like you.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm sure you learned so much, and of course, it's a lifetime experience. Your sojourn in the United States Air Force. Now let's move to the birth of Nyla's Catering. I mean, you're coming from an organized society where everything works. You were in the military with strict discipline, and then you have to deal with Nigerian staff. It's been a few years now. How's the journey been, and how receptive are Nigerians to fusion food? I've been to a few of your programs where you experimented with, we've done Mexican, we've done other, we've traveled around the world.
Yes, we have.
In Nyla's,
Yes, we have. Yes,
with
we have.
Nyla's.
For me, it's been a journey, but I mean, the one thing, like, I was funny enough, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she's like, she's going to run very soon. And I just told her, you have to be optimistic.
She's a returnee.
She is.
No, it sounds, that word is not particularly correct. Returnee. You sound like
She's a
somebody
Nigerian.
She's a Nigerian who's still
and then came back.
contemplating if she should run or not run or stay. I mean, for me, I try to balance it out. I still travel. I try to save every year so that at least I can take a break. Because, I mean, the economy is not what we expected it to be right now. We're still very optimistic that it will improve. I mean, while you're trying to do that, you're still also trying to motivate your staff and try to explain to them that it's not going to always be like this. You know, try and get them to still see the vision that you see, not in just running your business, but in the country at large. You know, so it's been interesting. I mean, we've moved offices. So we're now in Yaba, and I mean, for me, that has been an interesting journey on its own, because the things that, I did when I was setting up the first office, and the things I had to do setting up this office, pretty much the same thing, the same space, but it's costing us, like 3-4 times the same price.
17% inflation
It's
rates
actually
in the last
higher.
year alone.
Exactly, it's higher than that. And then food cost on its own is just, it's one of the scary
and then poor
things.
consumers like us, when we come and eat at Nyla's Catering, we have to be the brunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
of all
Now
of
let
that.
me ask. Gbenga mentioned fusion cuisine, and during your introduction, we also mentioned fusion cuisine. For me, it's the first time I'm actually hearing it. So it'd be nice for you to tell us, what is fusion cuisine?
For me, it's just basically infusing both the Western and the African in one plate. I mean, and it's the same.
Is it like Ghana and Nigerian jollof?
No.
Please don't start a stuff.
Don't start this.
It's not. It's no. That's no. I mean, that's no contest.
I was just,
Let's be real. It's
that's no contest.
no contest. Let's not.
Thank you very much. And that's
So-
from a cordon bleu chef.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
it settles it. She
Yes,
has the
settles it.
authority to
Yes.
Yeah,
pass judgment.
so it's not that. It's basically introducing new things to the Nigerian palates. I mean, still giving the Nigerians what they're familiar with, because I tend to, when I give clients menus, I try not to stick with I try to give you what you know, but I try to mix it with what you might know but might not want to try.
Example.
I could give you jollof rice with maybe duck and orange sauce. Stuff like that. So just try and introduce new things, pair them. It's still the same experience. Jollof rice is going to be jollof rice, and we all know jollof rice is bae. But try and marry jollof rice with other things that you would never give a chance to, but you wouldn't know that these things will actually marry well.
And how has the reception in Nigeria been? Because usually a lot of Nigerians are not very open. I recently just started being open to experimenting with foods I'm not so certain with. So how's the reception in Nigeria been?
It's been a 50-50, but I find more people now, they still want jollof rice at their events and all of that. And we're like, Jesus, jollof rice again. Okay, fine, no problem. But okay, why don't you try something else? Still try and bring it close to home. Instead of maybe coleslaw or plantain, why don't you do like maybe sauteed sauteed green beans or roasted vegetables on the side. Just the same thing, just the presentation is different, and then you just add new things, and then, you know, just try and introduce new, healthier options to them. Because, I mean, jollof rice, yes, it's all well and good, but you also want to think about the calories. Let's count the calories. You know, what are you having it with? By the time you add coleslaw, you might think I'm eating vegetables, but the cream alone has just crossed everything off. So, you know, you keep trying, and you keep mixing and matching and fusing. I mean, like our brunches now are, I mean, it's always a full house, which is always a good thing, because we have more chefs in Nigeria, and I have to commend them, who are actually bringing and showing new things, and, you know, and encouraging other people to try things as well.
Good. That's great. Now, who's your target audience? Are they work people, young people, older people? Because you mentioned something about change, you know, changing people's idea of how food can be served or eaten. And we know that it is difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. So who would you say are your target audience?
Teaching an old dog new tricks, funny enough, it's not as hard when it comes to food, because, you know, our parents, I mean, they're more health conscious now. A lot of young ladies are into the whole fit farm lifestyle.
Very true.
So it becomes everybody, you know. Change, I mean, it starts with us, you know. So if you're saying, okay, you know what, I want to live longer, a healthier lifestyle and all, you have to change pretty much every other thing that you're doing, you know. I mean, I have my own addictions, which is soda, you know, soft drinks. I can drink one and be done for the day. I don't have
Just
to
like
eat.
me, I love suya, especially wrapped in newspaper.
Exactly.
But you see, that's, and you know, I had a client who was like, oh, he has to have that red meat. And I said, you know what, that's fine. But don't forget, you need a glass of red wine every now and then to help break it down. Because red meat on its own, it's good, but it's also bad. You know, we have to learn to eat things in moderation as well.
So, before we wrap things up, there's so many young people watching you out there, and they're inspired by your story and your journey. What keeps you motivated, and what sets Nyla's Catering aside from different, because everybody eats, from other businesses, your competitors?
What keeps you motivated? More importantly, in a time as this, where people are talking about how beautiful our economy is.
And
When our economy, at a time like this, when our economy is doing like this,
He's
it's doing like this.
He's dwindling.
The truth, I think what keeps me motivated is the fact that I just believe that it's a phase. I keep telling myself it's a phase, it's a phase, it's a phase. I mean, with what happened to some of the food companies that got destroyed and all of that, you still have to come back and tell yourself it's a phase. People are trying to work, you know, to make things a little bit better. We're not all going to see the end result, but we just have to be part of the process, you know. And that's all I just keep telling myself. It's a phase. You just have to keep believing in the system. That's it. As far as, what was the second question?
What sets you apart from other catering services?
I do pay attention to quality. The quality of our work is bar none, and I can say that anywhere. I have been doing this for 11 years, and I am yet to meet a client who has actually said, I ate your food and I had food poison.
And
that's one.
Very important.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, the quality of my work is what I pay attention to. The quality of my product is what I pay attention to. And the quality of the service that we actually give is something that I like to pay attention to.
Thank you so much.
How can people follow you on social media? People who want to reach out to you. And do you mentor young people?
I do. Yes, I try to. I don't know if I'm a mentor of sorts. But yes, if anyone needs to reach me, I have Chef Nylah handle. And that's on Instagram. And then there's Nyla's Food Express.
As in Chef?
How do you spell the Nylah?
Nylah.
Okay, so Chef Nylah is CHEFNYLAH. All right, so follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, or Nyla's Food Express.
All right.
That's the new one coming up.
All right. And can people order on, can people order online if they wanted to order?
Yes, we're setting up that platform, yes, very well as well. We're building
And are we going to cook with you sometime on the show?
Let me know when. I'll be happy to host you guys.
We're really excited about that one.
Please come over.
I love food. Gbenga
particularly, Gbenga just likes some things we cannot mention on air.
Okay.
But I will tell you off
Other
air.
than suya
wrapped with
suya
and onions.
But don't forget the newspaper.
It has to be newspaper.
Yeah, it has to be.
Vanguard or Punch.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.